Evening. Welcome to What's New. Tonight we have kind of a house full. Got a lot of information for you.
Lots of interesting
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
A lot going on. So I guess Juanita and Carolyn going to be first doing the art center. And you can
Okay.
tell them what it's all about. It's exciting for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question first.
Yeah.
This is the Promenade des Arts,
Yes.
and that doesn't happen every year, does it?
No, we try to make it happen every year, but it kind of has a life of its own. It depends on people actually having a collection of art. We do rely heavily on private collectors. And so sometimes we go a while without really having the benefit of a group of pieces of art that honor one of the members of the St. Genevieve Art Colony that was here during the 1930s. So that's getting up on close to 100 years ago. And so it's getting harder and harder sometimes to find art. But we were very lucky this year.
So that's the theme. Artists who have a history in this community.
Yes, yes. Particularly that art colony. We feel at the Art Guild that we're very fortunate to have had that in our past, and we kind of keep that as our legacy, if you will.
Tell us a little bit about that.
About the art colony?
Yeah. Not everybody knows. All the Art Guild members know, but not everybody else.
Well, during the 1930s, artists had been going out to the East Coast, and it just got too difficult with the Depression. And so they started looking closer to home. And we were very lucky in St. Genevieve to have an artist here who welcomed artists from elsewhere, and that was Matthew Ziegler. And he was an artist himself, and when some artists came looking, he said, come on over and I'll find you a place. And his aunts had a house, which is now part of the Felix Valley Historic Site, but it was a house belonging to the Vogt family. And he rented it out to all of these artists who wanted to come down here and paint because we were quaint and picturesque down here, and we were close to St. Louis. So that was kind of what started the art colony, is having a welcoming presence here. And Matt Ziegler is one of the artists that we're honoring. And it's the people who owned that house that he rented, the Vogt family, that all three artists are related to that we're honoring. And so his aunt, Sister Cassiana Marie Vogt, was a very, very wonderful portrait painter, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. Very, very realistic painter. In fact, we're going to have two of her portraits that we were able to acquire from, she was a sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet, and she was there for a period of time in her early years. And so they happened to have a couple. There are still some of her paintings throughout St. Louis, but primarily she was in, Michigan?
No, it was Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Green Bay, that's right.
Yeah.
But a very, very, very accomplished artist.
Well, does the Women's Club have one of her pieces?
No,
No.
not Sister Cassiana, no. Her art's hard to come by, and that's why this is the first time we've been able to honor her, which is really cool for us. We've never been able to gather up enough of her art to actually feel like we were honoring her with a good representation. So we relied heavily on the Sisters of St. Joseph,
really
and
did.
they came forward with 4 paintings. We had already had a couple in the neighborhood, and found a couple more. And the mural that's up there at the Sisters
my.
of Carondelet fills a whole wall.
I tell you what, that's going to be worth seeing in itself, the mural.
Yeah. So we made a
That'll
reproduction.
make everybody want to run to the convent and look at it.
But we have a beautiful reproduction that's, it's pretty long.
6 foot long.
6 foot long of the mural that is on the wall at the Sisters of Carondelet. And it's really nice, very, very nice. So, you want to see that for sure. Absolutely.
And after the promenade, that's going to be in the parish center.
Thanks to
hanging
Iris.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Iris.
Yes.
Very good.
That would be very-
Our guild over the years, when we've been able to work with somebody else in the community, or they've contributed something, we try to give back in some way. And so after we had this done, the idea came, what can we do? Who can,
Well, we went and printed it on metal.
Yes,
Instead
it's-
of, usually we just do foam core for
Yeah.
these things, and then what do you do with it, you know? But when there was a little bit of interest in it, at their suggestion, actually,
Was that
printed
it?
it on metal.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And it really, really came out nice.
It looks very nice.
So there's Sister Cassiana.
Right.
Who else?
well, Sister Cassiana and her nephew, Matt Ziegler, and her great niece, Dolly Dufour.
Talk a little bit about Matt, because some of us remember Matt.
I met him, and that's about the extent of it. So you probably know more about the man himself as far as the history.
Well, he was, I would call him a Renaissance man. He did everything. There
did.
wasn't anything he couldn't build or fix or do. And he built himself a gallery out of some stones from the old stone school. He built himself a house out in the country that was his studio with skylights and everything. And at the same time, he was raising bees and all these different things and having a restaurant that was featured his own smoked hams and
Yes.
his waffles made from his own ground flour and honey, of course, from his bees. And so that to me is just an amazing person and wonderful artist on top of that.
He wasn't just a local guy, because he had a show in New York at one point, didn't he?
He had some art in New York. I
Yes.
don't know that he had a one-man show. He had a one-man show up in St. Louis with the Art Guild up there. And yeah, his cousin Joe Vorst, I think, helped him with the New York connections. But yeah, he had, accomplished for an artist, significant amount, yeah.
Right.
He did one of the WPA murals
Right,
also.
yeah.
So, and he was self-taught. I think he described himself as self-taught. And what's we're trying to show in this show is that Sister Cassiana was she influenced him, and she encouraged him throughout his work. We even have some letters where she's written, encourage him to, with his education and with continuing his art and so forth. So we started with that, Sister Cassiana and her relationship with her nephew. And then, well, of course, then we came down the third generation with
Yeah.
Dolly Dufour.
Yes. I think a lot of us may have known Dolly, who was an amazing person. Tell us why.
Well, again, you know her better than I really didn't know her. I did not. I met her, and that's the extent of it. So I can't even no, you'll have to do that, Jean.
What was extraordinary about
He was a very imaginative artist, and of course did dolls. She was part of an international doll makers
Yeah, she was.
organization.
Yeah, for sure.
And the dolls are just totally amazing. There's an installation behind, I think it's still there, the Southern Hotel on 3rd Street, where a kind of a fake well was created, and she populated it with elves and all kinds of wonderful little things. And she painted, and I'm very happy to be someone who
Right. I
owns
only
one of
know
her
her through
paintings.
her paintings,
Yeah.
her dolls.
Yeah. We had depend on collectors again, and we were seeking a few of her fine art dolls because they really are incredible.
She was a very gracious lady. Dodie Conrad and I used
Yeah.
to go visit her.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Neat.
we'd see her painting, talk to her, and what she'd call me, the pretty lady with the pretty cape. I said, where'd she get that?
It's interesting, our collection, I think, am I correct, only one or two out of our whole collection was shown before? Is this all?
Correct. Yeah.
Is it one of hers
several-
and
well,
one of Matt's, maybe?
Dolly's work hasn't been shown for over 20 years. And so, when we say it hasn't been shown, it certainly hasn't been shown recently.
Right.
And we only, I think, have one of Matt's and of course, Sister Cassiana's is all new.
That's
and
all,
so, the show is very, very fresh, it's all art that we're all anxious to see, I think.
Right,
hanging up
Matt's work,
ourselves.
even though we do have somewhat of a collection of some of the different subject matter that they might have painted, with Matt, though, was this in the 70s these were painted? These are his
lot of the
newer, a few
ones-
of his
yeah,
newer pieces
yeah.
that are quite interesting.
And there's one spectacular abstract, my goodness. I mean, that really is. It's about 5 feet long in and of itself. It's huge. And so that'll be nice.
Might mention a sculpture, too.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
might mention.
We might just mention a sculpture.
Yeah.
He did a lot of different things.
They were when we went up to pick up art at, for Martillo, when we had her.
Yeah.
Anna and I had to sit in the sitting room
Uh-huh.
so he could check us out. And then we noticed there was a piece of sculpture in there, and we asked, it was hanging, who did that? And it was Matt.
Was it
Oh,
really?
my
I don't
goodness.
remember. I'll be
Oh,
darned.
wow.
Wow. Well, this
You
was
need
one
to know
of
what
his.
that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So it's
pretty, yeah.
we've got quite a variety. I'm really excited about Sister Cassiana. She goes back to what, 1890s? When was
Well, she was born in
in-
1883, and so she predates a lot of the
So, right.
things that were
And
going
to be
on.
a nun, and to be able to attend the Chicago Art Institute, to be able to come to St. Genevieve and participate with the art colony is quite unusual, I would think. I don't think they typically were able to do something like that, but for whatever reason, she did. And so I think she was quite a prolific painter, but most of her work is up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we're really excited about the pieces we have. We've got still lifes, portraits, and then some florals that she did, and photographs. That's the other thing. We had the Vorse show, and I think we're quite proud of that show because we pulled in so much, and it was, I thought, very interesting. A lot of it was the history, and as it relates to St. Genevieve too. But we've got still some old pictures of some of the Volk family, some of the Ziegler family, which we will have there. And because she was a sister of St. Joseph, and we had the sisters here in St. Genevieve from, 97 through 99, I believe. I think it's through 99. I'm just going to briefly mention it. The Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, when we got to talking to them about Sister Cassiana, they went, we'd
Yeah.
like to reconnect in St.
Yeah,
Genevieve.
they got really excited.
They were very excited, and they want to reconnect. So they have planned a luncheon for people that attended Valley and had these sisters as their teachers up through 99.
Oh, what a lovely idea.
So it really, really is, and that will be at the DeBerg Center on Sunday, the 18th, 19th. And Bob is going to be talking about the history of the Sisters of St. Joseph. Carolyn will be talking about
Just
our
a
art show.
I'll be doing the same stick. Yeah.
Yeah, but with Sister Cassiana, that's how all this kind of started,
Yes,
with
it
her
did.
becoming a nun. And then I think they'll have somebody else speaking as well. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
But it's an event that's open to alumni of Valley.
Yeah.
When does the show open?
It opens Friday the 17th, which is a week from this Friday.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. We've got a lot of work to do between now and then. In fact, I'm leaving to go glue this thing. It's Friday night reception. So we invite everybody to the reception at 6 o'clock. That's when it opens. So we won't be open Friday during the day, but at night. And then we're running it every weekend for 4 weekends. So that's the first weekend. We're going to open Thursday through Sunday, 11 to 3, through the course of the 4 weekends. And then it closes on November 9th. And then we'll have our Christmas show.
Right on the great
And
project.
then more's coming about that later.
More about that later.
More about that later.
Just throw in a little plug, yeah.
No, I hope we get a lot of townspeople to attend. We were, many came to the Vorse show because it was a family from St. Genevieve. They knew of these people. And I'm really hoping a lot of the local people will come out and see what we have. It's paintings, sculptures, and some good photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
good.
about a dozen dolls.
Very good.
Oh, the dolls are incredible. Oh, my gosh.
Most
yeah.
of the people who are watching probably know about the Art Guild. But just in case there's somebody out there who doesn't, talk for just a minute or two about the Art Guild and who's eligible to belong to the Art Guild and how you can do that.
Okay. The Art Guild is open to anyone who's interested in making art and interested in a fellowship of artists. I found myself as somebody who was a fair weather artist. Being encouraged by other artists meant that I did more work and did better work. And so anyone out there who's, an artist of any type, it's visual arts. I should clarify that. It's a visual arts organization. And we'd love to hear from anyone who's interested in joining us. We're very low rent. Our dues are very reasonable, and we do have now a space to have people show their art.
Yeah.
And so
And we're both members.
that's right.
And presently, we go from Imperial all the way to Cape Girardeau. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
Over
Yeah.
to Sykeston.
Well, I say within a 50-mile radius typically, but it
Yeah.
might go a little further.
Most of our members are
Most
within
of
30 miles, I would say.
Right.
There's a few outliers.
Out in the
Yeah,
lead belt.
Cape, I know Cape.
Yeah, we don't
Girardeau.
have a mileage limit.
No,
so,
St. Louis,
Yeah,
Cape Girardeau, we,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. We had somebody
Yeah.
join from Poplar Bluff the other
We
day.
did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's a really good organization. As I said, we're both members.
Well, there
You've
you
been a
go.
member probably for a long time.
93, I think.
Yeah. That's,
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
yeah, 98 for me.
Good group, right?
Yeah.
I think the Guild's been in existence since the
83.
83.
yeah.
And now that we have a home,
Yeah,
we're
and the
just
home is
able to do so
beautiful.
much more, from workshops to these nice shows, which we had had before, but now we can actually present a more professional type show.
Give a plug to the people who provided the home.
Oh, you talking about the county?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
county.
county allowed us. I mean, they rent us the building, but
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we appreciate that was made available
Yeah.
to our organization because it's made such a difference.
Yes, it really has.
It really, really has. And
Anything else?
I think we've got some other people here that
I
need to.
think we've got it covered pretty
Well,
well.
thank you guys for both coming the
Yes.
distance to do this.
No problem. I
We appreciate
I
it.
hope we see lots of people coming in that weekend.
Hopefully.
Hopefully
Or
so.
just share on Facebook.
Yeah.
We do that. I just posted it today.
Well, then we'll find it and do it.
All right. Well,
All
thank you
righty.
for having
Well,
us.
thank you very much
All right,
for
well,
having
thank
us.
you.
Okay, I think I'm going to
Everybody
move
come
on.
see. Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
So Kenny, you gonna be next?
Okay. We got a few things going on this month over at Bricks. Starting this weekend, we're actually having a movie night under the pecan tree.
I saw it.
So we're inviting everybody to bring their kids and stuff. We're gonna have free popcorn, some different snacks and things that they can get. And we'll be showing Hocus Pocus.
Ah,
So luckily the community center, the library, allowed me to use their inflatable screen and everything.
Well, isn't
so-
that nice? Yeah.
So I got that going on this weekend. Then next weekend will be on the 18th. We'll have our Witches and Warlocks night out, which is Salem in Your Eyes, and it's charging $10 a ticket. So pretty much if you come to Bricks and you buy your ticket there, we'll take the $10 and we're splitting it between Down syndrome and autism awareness, whatever funds
That's
are
great.
raised.
Yes.
So, and I'm trying to get, I don't know what all businesses are involved yet because I haven't had actual notification from everyone who's going to be involved, but we're trying to get everybody we can involved to where every place will have their own little, if it's a costume contest or giveaway or whatever, you'll have at each place.
at each
That's
place in the downtown
Yeah,
area
yeah,
or at
yeah.
the winery.
Each place in downtown, like Sarah's Ice Cream, they're involved. I know Brock said Autobahns and Danny's will be involved, and
That'll be neat. Yeah.
Anvil, I've talked to them. I've never got a response, but I have a feeling they'll probably be involved. And Ciro's depending on, they have something going on that night. So they said it kind of depends on if it overlaps with their stuff or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing would be, I just posted actually today, it's our farm to fire that we're having on the 25th. We're having a meal down there at Bricks. So,
October, November,
October.
October.
Yeah, it'll be a barbecue meal that we're having down there, so.
And what night is that?
It's October 25th.
Week night.
Huh?
Saturday, I think.
Saturday.
Sunday,
It's Saturday. So,
It's the 24th
Okay,
is the art walk.
okay, yeah, so the very next day, yes.
Yeah.
And that's about all I have for this month. I got more stuff for next month, but that's about it for
That's
this
a
month.
Well, you have to come back and
Yeah.
do next.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm really waiting to hear about the Sherwood Forest.
Yes,
That
yes.
sounds like
I'm still working on that. I know I've been talking to a lady that actually went to Mexico, Missouri last weekend, and I met her and went to a place over there. It's called Walking Back in Time. I told my mom I'd like to get with Jeff and people and see if there's a way for us to do one of those maybe in April, because it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And me and my girlfriend were only there for about 2.5 hours, and there were probably 1,000 people there
Oh, my
in a
goodness.
short period of time that we were there. And it was a 2-day event, and they had stuff. They actually had the actual reenactment of the OK Corral shooting
Oh, for Pete's
with
sake.
the live animal that were blanks. Oh my God, it was absolutely amazing. World War I, II, Korean War stuff about Titanic and Vikings, everything you can imagine.
Oh, my.
So, like I said, I'd like to get with Jeff and the French colonial people and see if we can figure out something maybe in spring.
That would be
We
neat.
can come up with something like that to do then downtown. So,
Okay. So do you know anything about, or could you give some information about the library? They're having it's a Halloween? Or the
I don't
Brown
know
Man?
for sure I know they're doing something.
It's a silent
The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I just thought if you knew
Yeah.
something about it.
I do know
yeah.
about
I
that.
think that's on the 25th too,
It's
isn't
on
it?
the
Yes.
25th,
Yeah.
and it's at the Oris.
Okay, yes.
And
Yes.
I believe there are still tickets available. Nosferatu is a film, I think maybe from the 1920s, a silent film with a vampire as the primary character. And the thing that's going to make this, I think, really special is that they brought in some really high-class orchestration to play behind the movie. I think it's going to be a very good event. I've already bought my tickets, and I think it's going to be fun for people.
Sounds like it.
And you can find it on Facebook.
Right. Yeah, that one
Yeah.
I've shared already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But that's about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
Thank you
thanks for
so much.
coming.
And I'll be
You're
back
welcome.
next month, I'm sure, to talk about
Yes,
some more
you
stuff.
Okay.
We'll contact you and see what day you want.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, thank
And
you.
we'll move the next row up.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah. And Dina, since we've already talked about Halloween, I'm going to ask you if, before these two gentlemen speak, if you
Okay.
would tell us
I don't mind sitting.
why we
between them.
invited you.
You don't, I know. I think you invited me for the Scarecrow Spectacular, if I'm not mistaken. So this is our 17th year doing Scarecrows downtown. And basically it is just to bring fun and camaraderie to the downtown area and dress it up for fall. We are doing a theme this year with sitcoms, so that's going to be kind of fun. It can be anything from Friends to Cheers to Seinfeld to Simpsons, whatever.
For people who don't know, what exactly is it?
So basically, it started out originally using the lamppost downtown, and some of the lampposts have since then, I guess, fallen down. So right now, we just let them use the lamppost or the telephone poles or whatever they need, or even if they just want to do something on the sidewalk, that's fine too, as long as it doesn't adhere to the traffic or make it difficult for people to walk on the sidewalks. And basically, you just create a scarecrow. You can use a T-frame if you want. Some people do that, some people don't. They just like to stuff their scarecrow and lean it up against the post and tie it with wire or string. We do not nail into anything. There's no stapling. It is all pretty much just by rope or some other form of standalone something.
And no super glue.
No super glue. Okay. Yeah, we don't glue or anything. So the whole point of it is to not to damage anything, obviously, and then to see the creative side of what these businesses can do with just some straw and some, old blue jeans and T-shirts. And it's become a very popular hit, and not just with our businesses, but with our tourists too. I don't know if you remember years ago, Eric Scott did the Mr. Potato Head, and it was right on the corner of the old brick house of 3rd and Market Street. And I can't tell you how many people would stop and take a picture with that Mr. Potato Head. I
I had
actually.
one with Frank Myers standing next
Do
to
you
it.
see?
Yeah.
You see, it's like a staple. But we have some businesses that really just put so much thought and effort into these scarecrows, and it's just a lot of fun. Sometimes we don't always do a theme, but themes seem to be the easiest to work around. The businesses seem to like them a lot better. So choosing the theme is always a little difficult because you don't want to like overlap stuff. But we only let each company do one theme. So like if like Common Grounds is doing the Golden Girls, no one else will be able to do the Golden Girls. So we don't want a lot of downtown just having the Golden Girls, right? We want them to be.
I don't know. I think
Nice
downtown having a
variety.
lot of the Golden Girls might be a
I
really
know,
good
it
thing.
really, it could be fun. I told them what they needed to do is have their scarecrows, but then also have the staff. They should dress up as the Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
Great idea.
And they might, who knows? The one thing I want people to know about the Scarecrow Contest is it's completely free. There's no registration fee. You have to register your theme with me and tell me what pole or where you want to be located at, but there's no cost other than whatever it takes for you to build your Scarecrow. You also don't have to be a chamber member to do the Scarecrow. A lot of people thought that they had to be chamber members to do the Scarecrow, and you do not. Again, this is just about bringing more fun and camaraderie to our business community and to the downtown area for the fall. Yeah.
One of the things that I like best about it is I grew up in a town where for Halloween, the businesses like the bakery and the shoe store and the dress store would have kids from the school paint windows. They would do Halloween designs on the windows. And it was such an interesting way of people coming together, because people who were shopping in this little 2-block area that was our downtown would stop and look at every window. And then they would look to see which kids' names were on it in terms of having made the window. And I love it that our town is doing something like this, that there's no prizes involved. There's no expense involved except whatever you spend on your thing. And there's really very often no way to tell who did the Scarecrow. So it's not advertising. And I just think it's a neat way of bringing the town together.
It really is. And I don't know if you remember early on in my career, we did window
I was just
decorating.
going to say that. They used to do that
We
here
did.
in town, yeah.
And those were always a lot of fun too.
They were.
And it just
were
kind
really
of
cute.
migrated into this. But you're right. It's not about the advertising part of it, or it's just about, bringing the fun. And I think the creative side of some businesses, and just to see, what
They come up with amazing ideas.
it's some great team building too for their companies to do this. I went through Bloomsdale Bank's drive-through today, and they have their scarecrows laying out on the back lawn, and these ladies are out there stuffing these scarecrows during their lunch hour. And I was like, that is a great team building opportunity right there. Like, it was like two ladies out there just, shoving straw into these blue jeans, and, so I just love it. I think it's great. It's one of my favorite events, and I think maybe because there is no prizes. Not technically, we do give ribbons. There is a traveling trophy that whoever wins, they can display in their business for the year. A lot of times they just let me keep it at the chamber so they don't like break it or anything. But, that's the fun part of it. I think I even have the girls at the license office wanting to do a scarecrow. I'm like, go for it. That's fine. But yeah, the judging is always a lot of fun. I bring some of my colleagues from out of town. They come in and I just give them their clipboard and they walk around and they do their judging and then they submit their paperwork to me. No one really ever knows that they're judging. They just kind of walk around like they're a tourist. And that's how they get judged. And that's the fairest way to do it because my colleagues don't know those businesses. And so they're not playing favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun and I'm glad that we're still able to do it.
And when do people start putting them up and how long do they have to register?
Yeah, so registration opened up on October 1st. So you can register all the way up until the day that we judge. I would much rather see that your registration is done by the 14th of October, just because that's when you're going to start seeing the scarecrows go up that week. But so you can start putting your scarecrows up on around the 13th, 14th of October, and then we'll judge them on Friday the 17th, just in time before Spooktacular on the 18th. So, but yeah, that's kind of it, the time frame. And then they will stay up. They can stay up until Halloween. We ask that you take them down the week after, or right after Halloween. Unless they fall apart, then we will contact you and tell you you can fix your scarecrow or you can take your scarecrow down. So.
And that's nice that it's that weekend because that's when all the people that come for the nuns banquet or dinner or whatever they're having,
Okay.
there'll be a lot of strange,
We try
different
to,
tourists in town.
yeah, we try to coincide it with Spooktacular, with the Downtown St. John Spooktacular, which is October 18th. So we usually try to tie it in with that same time frame. And it works out really well for us. So,
Let's talk about Spooktacular.
Yeah.
Since it came up.
Sure.
We didn't have an opportunity to bring somebody here to talk about it. But
I sit on that board. I can talk to you about it.
Excellent, excellent. 'Cause
Anything going on in town.
That's another one of these things that is a memory of what small towns used to be like. To tell everybody who may not know what it is.
So Spooktacular is basically just for the kids. It's an opportunity for them to get dressed up in their costumes and come into the downtown community and go to the merchants and the restaurants and basically trick or treat. And so you wouldn't believe, if you've never been a part of it, you should, because it's fantastic. These kids are so excited. And many years ago, or a couple of years ago, we used to do of a street activity. We kind of got away from that for a variety of different reasons. And then we realized that the kids really just want the candy. They're just there for the candy. They're not there for the pictures and they're not there for anything else or the games. They just want the candy. And so we just kind of converted back to that. And I would have to say, I don't know any business downtown that is not participating. I mean, everyone's usually giving out candy to those kids. It is from, I believe, 10 to 4 is the
I think
time.
I have a note
4
about
o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think let me look at my flyer. I did bring it. I did bring my flyer with me today. I'm sorry. It's noon to 2.
No, you do too?
Noon to 2.
on the 18th.
On the 18th, October 18th, yes. Yeah. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And, downtown St. John is doing a lot of really great things. And I'm pretty excited about being a part of that program and that organization. Right after Kenny's event on the 25th, we have Bacanapalooza coming up on November 1st. So, I mean, it just like rolls right into a lot of different things. So they've got some really good things lined up for this winter as well, with the Gnome for the Holidays again, Shop Small Saturday. So yeah, they're doing a bang up job. So.
The Spooktacular doesn't cost anything. Any kid in town can participate.
That's right.
I think that all of us who are merchants appreciate it when the kids are accompanied by parents
Yes.
or some kind of adult.
Yes, we
except for the
actually,
teenagers and, you know.
we don't get too many teenagers for Spooktacular, but we do encourage the parents to, not just let their kids loose in the downtown area. And I don't know that that's ever been a factor. I think the parents enjoy it just as much as the kids do. So I think that it's always been very well received, business-wise and parental-wise. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Very good event. We're glad you're involved in so many things, dear.
I'm involved in a lot of things, actually.
are, yeah.
That's okay, though.
And
It's part of my job, and I love what I do, and so I love my community, too, and I'm happy to be a part of all of it.
For 25 years.
That's right. I just celebrated my 25th anniversary, work
Been
anniversary.
that long.
It has. September 18th of 2000.
Oh, my.
Yes, ma'am.
We've known each other a long
We
time.
have known each other.
Worked together on
We've
projects
evolved over these
the
years. That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Bob, for that little shout out.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That's good.
Yeah. What are you guys going to talk about? Can I stay or do I have to go?
You
or-
can absolutely stay.
Okay, I'll stay. This is kind of
Yeah,
fun.
you don't have to leave anytime you come. Just
Okay.
stay as long as you want.
We have two different events, and one of them is sort of freestanding and unique, and the other one kind of blends away into Halloween. So let's start with Jeff
Okay.
from the Center for French Colonial Life and the Bolduc House, talking about an event that's coming up when?
This Saturday, October 11th, is the fall encampment of the recreated Milice de Saint-Geneviève, the militia people of French background who were the citizen soldiers of the 18th century, both when the French were in charge and when the Spanish were in charge as well. And this is a group of volunteers. It's men and women and some younger people and some older people. It's a really great mixture of absolutely delightful folks who come from as far away as St. Louis and Paducah, Kentucky, and Potosi, and some of us are from around here, but covers a pretty large geographical area as well as a lot of different backgrounds that these people bring to this experience. And the encampment is taking place, and this has been happening for a number of years. There's a spring encampment, there's now a fall encampment as well, and we do this in the yards behind LeMayer and Bolduc House, right next to the AT&T building. You probably remember where a long time ago there was the car lot there behind LeMayer before it was, which is why when we're putting tent pegs in the ground, the guys hit concrete a lot. You can tell when they're setting up, ding, 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 cuss word, ding, ding, ding. But it's a wonderful place for this kind of educational but also entertaining experience. And actually, it's cool that Bob's here talking about the event at the cemetery, because that's, first person, it's very theatrical. It's the kind of interpretation where you're actually taking on characters, right? And you are representing individuals. What the folks with the militia do is they will set up displays, they pitch their tents, there'll be flies that have, people can walk up and see displays, and also some other things we'll talk about in a minute. But it's it's third person interpretation. It's where it's not, I'm a militiaman from, 250 years ago. It's This is how it worked. This is what we're doing. Would you like to try it? Would you like to have a closer look at this? And answering questions and engaging with people rather than sometimes the nature of first person where it's kind of theatrical and you sort of have, even though a lot of improvisation goes into it, you're sort of following a script. Here, the visitor kind of gets to make the script with you and ask questions and throw ideas out and interact with things. So the activities that will be happening goes from about 10 to 4 in the afternoon, and it's free. Gates are open, just come on in. It's obvious where it's happening because right there at Main and Market, like I say, behind Bolduc and Lemire. Come on in and make yourself at home and learn about and witness things like drill and what was life like for these citizen soldiers. Because remember, these are militia. They're not professionals. Now, some of them, historically, they would have, especially if they were like fellows who'd been here with the French forces, and they decided to stay rather than going back to France when France gave up control of the area. Some of them had been professional soldiers at some time, but mostly it's just the people, the men from the community of a certain age who did train regularly, did know how to drill. It's one of the reasons why when Battle of St. Louis happened in 1780 and 60 guys from St. John went up and helped defend St. Louis against an attack by the British and their Native American allies during the American Revolution, that they were helpful and effective because a lot of them were voyageurs and hunters and familiar with firearms, but also they'd been getting regular training from, at that point, the Spanish. But anyway, citizen soldiers talking about and demonstrating what skills they had, what their equipment was like, much of which was, their own stuff that they'd put together. Then there are also, again, remember, citizen soldiers. So these are fellows who also have their own skills and way of life and professions. And a lot of the fellows who take part in the encampment, like Gary Shield, will be there with a shaving horse, doing carpentry. And there'll be fur traders and guys who were representing hunters and talking about what hunting was like as a profession. So there's those kinds of activities. But the other thing, and this is one of the reasons why we love this event, is that it's very family friendly. And a couple of those big flies, besides the fact that, there are things that, with permission, the little people can handle and, touch the furs and the equipment and all that. But that there are activities, family-friendly activities, that are designed for interacting with kids and teaching them through a fun experience about some aspect of life.
Give us an example of one.
Playing games. Well, Bob's one of our, what?
No, I do children's games, and that's children from 6 years old to 75, 80. Most of them are mathematical or reasoning. It's a great thing. Have a lot of fun with it with the kids. Have a whole variety of things. Some are like yarn dolls and Carnhuss dolls. Sometimes I have that, but mathematical games.
Sometimes we'll have card games and
Got a dancing chicken.
I don't know if he's going to do it this year, but every now and then the Capitan Bill kind of does dueling. And,
Yeah, we've done that with kids too.
but besides Bob, Mark and Rita are always
Deb
doing things
Cameron.
there, and Capitan
You
Bill.
mentioned
and-
Rita. I was going to ask you, are there any women involved in this?
Oh, yes.
Because most of what you've talked about so far is like men.
Well, don't forget that in an 18th and even going into 19th century context, a military force, unless they are going on, like the guys going up to help at St. Louis in 1780, women, I don't think there were women that went up with the group, because they had to row up there as quickly as they
Yeah.
could and help dig trenches and get ready to fight a battle that might not have turned out well. But normally campaign and camping and that there are women and children in a camp and going along on campaign as well as the men.
Yeah.
So they are, just as they help with all the various professions and work, and that it's, everybody has a job to do.
Yeah.
Everyone is part of the process. So yes, there are women who will be there representing different aspects of life in this context. And again, one of the things that I really enjoy about this is that it is very flexible. People can find something that pretty much everybody who walks in there is going to find something that's going to intrigue them, and someone that they can relate to, male, female, child, whatever, that thinking about what life was like for someone like you 250 years ago.
That's wonderful.
And the other thing I want to mention is that at the same time we're doing the encampment, and again, I did mention the encampment's free, right?
You're right.
Okay, there we go. At the same time, across the street from Bolduc and LeMayer, there's the Beauvais Linden House. And for 2 years now, that has been our living history house. And on Saturdays, we have other living history activities. We have kind of redesigned the interior and equipped it as a magasin, a store, and then the living quarters of the merchant's family behind that. And then because, as was typical, there's not a whole lot of space for socializing. So the last room has been turned into like the common room of an inn or a tavern, which even not just travelers, but also local people would go to socialize, to sing, to play games, to dance, to listen to music, to interact with more people than you would have room for in your actual home. So it's, again, living history, things that you can touch in the store, the trade goods, the furs, the tools, the cooking implements, the clothing, and then the room behind it, the living quarters, you can take a close look at things and see what they're like, find out more about everyday life. And then the last room, like I say, there's games, particularly Faro, which is a very simple game.
Yeah.
Technically was illegal, but people didn't always do what was legal, did they?
No.
Some things never change.
Some things never change, yes. But, so this is the Living History House. It complements what's going on with the camp. More things to do, again, family friendly, but people can ask whatever questions they want. And it is also free because we've got sponsors.
Good.
A number of different individuals from our staff, from our board, but like the Rotary Club, the Mississippi Lime, Lance Drury's law firm, a lot of different folks help pay for the expenses of running the program so we can have something that's free.
That's excellent.
And I think that's very important for families. But the other thing about it, like I say, it's complementary to what the Melise are doing across the street. And that's one of the absolute most wonderful things about dealing with history in St. Genevieve is, yes, we have a lot of players here. There's French Colonial America, the center, there's the foundation, and Gabord Valley House, and there's the Felix Valley House that the state owns. There's all the sites that National Park Service owns, just don't have open right now. And the Learning Center, and where you got everything from dinosaurs to railroads. So it's all very, you go, wow, gee, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but it's all complementary.
Complementary having to do with life as it used to be.
Yes, and also different parts of the story at different times. Different chapters in the story and different aspects of the story or the stories, because everything here that went on is actually a lot more delightfully complex than we sometimes give it credit for.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes easy to oversimplify, but there are a lot of elements to this story, and they're all intriguing, and we all work to try to tell complementary elements of that story and help people get a broader, more complete understanding.
It's a good time to bring Bob Mueller in, about another event that's happening this month in an odd location.
Well,
And if you're talking about life in St. Genevieve, you're doing something that puts a slightly different slant on that, aren't you?
no, we're still talking about life in St. Genevieve, but we're talking about people who are buried in Memorial Cemetery, often thought to be the oldest existing cemetery in Missouri. And it was between something like 1787, 1789, and 1881 when it was closed. And so I think we started back in about 2003 having what we call a deja vu spirit reunion. And it was started out to be a fundraiser for our restoration project that the Foundation for Restoration and the city have a joint agreement on. And we've been working on that since the 90s, late 90s. And before that, Lucille Bosler, God rest her soul, did so much work in that cemetery. But it's a way to help the cemetery, but it's in a fun way where you get to talk about a character or a person that is buried there. And that cemetery is kind of unique. It is a communal cemetery. It has always been a communal cemetery. We have French people, we have Americans, we have Catholics, we have Protestants, we have Native Americans, African Americans, enslaved and free, steamboat explosion victims. So a U.S. Senator, Missouri's first U.S. representative. So these people, and that's when I came to St. Genevieve again back in early 2000s. I was really kind of in love with the houses because of my engineering background, but it's the people that lived in these houses, which are really the most fun part of what we do. And so people will pick a character, and we don't have tombstones for everybody. There's between 3,500 and 5,000 people buried in that 2.5 block. The 3,500 we know from the church records. We estimate the others because up until 1872, we didn't have newspapers that said somebody was buried there that was in the Protestant section or the Odd Fellows section. We have that in the up corner by Bosler's. So we know a lot of these people, we know they were buried there, so you can portray them even though there's no tombstone. In the past, I've done Joseph Bogie and Pierre-Charles Dehault de la Souce de Louzière. And this year I get to play Louis Bolduc, different character. So that'll be fun. We have had, as I mentioned, a senator, Senator Lewis Fields Lynn, who has heard the story about why he was buried 3 times along with his wife. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but John Oram used to portray Senator Lynn very well, but John has moved away. And we have a nice lady that is portraying his wife and talking about him through his wife's eyes. And it's really kind of a different slant on how you approach some of these famous characters.
Everyone is in costume. There are lanterns and all kinds of sort of spiritual and spooky stuff.
It's not meant to be spooky. This is not a scary kind of thing.
No, but it feels like you're someplace.
It's going to be a little bit different this year because we moved it back a half hour. It's going to be from 4:30 to 7, and it's going to get dark about 6:30, I think. That's pretty uneven ground, and we have a lot of people that's a little hard to walk on, so we kind of moved it back. And we give people little flashlights and walk around to meet the various spirits. And we have a person portraying Joseph Hurtig who had a school called the Asylum here in St. Genevieve County, and at least 3 different U.S. senators went to the Asylum, future senators.
I'm sorry, a school teacher who is dead, who had a school called the Asylum, and you're doing this next to Halloween. It's a little spooky.
No.
You have to admit.
No. You'll hear more about why it's called the Asylum.
Okay.
It's actually a Swiss teaching method and the Pestalozzi method, and it goes on from that. You have John James Audubon's business partner, the first U.S. representative, John Scott, Francois Jani, the innkeeper at the Green Tree Tavern. And this year we have a new character, Chief Wasakunga, who was a Peoria Indian chief who is buried in that cemetery. Steamboat victim of that Franklin II back in 1852. Jacques Board, Father Jock Maxwell will be there to tell his story, and his is not just the story of a Catholic priest, but a politician and a guy that's helped start the Louisiana Academy. So lots of different characters, our first sheriff. So, and I think just even an Irishman is going to be there this year. But let's go to character, and you have about 5 to 7 minutes where you can hear their story, and then you move on to the next one, and you'll have a list of who does what, and you just have to go search them out. So it's, as I said, from 4:30 to 7, and it's down at 35 North 5th Street, which is at the end of Merchant. The tickets are adults are $10, students are $5, and you can buy them online at historicstgen.org. We are getting very modern. We put QR codes now on our flyers and on our website, so you can do it on your phone, or you can sign up at the gate and come in and do that. We do have a rain date the next Saturday, November 1st. We did get rained out one year, and we decided we better schedule another time. So that's what we have done, and it's a good time. We try to get some new people in every year to do something different. I do notice it's getting a little popular around the area. Farmington has one the week before, and Chester has one now. So sometimes success breeds other programs. So they have their own histories, and it's good to see that other people are telling the stories.
But almost no one has a history as interesting as ours.
We have a marvelous history. A lot of it's still undiscovered, I might add. After 20 years of work, there's still a lot out there. But it's such a great time, and encourage people to do their own research. I've helped some of them, put their stuff together. And we've had kids play characters. We have a 13-year-old drummer boy from the 30th Missouri that came down here from St. Louis, fell ill when the 30th Missouri was heading towards Vicksburg, and he died here, and he's buried in our cemetery. And
Wow.
which was really kind of neat to have that. We have a lady that was killed by thunder. That's what it says in the record. The French word for thunder, but it was lightning.
Oh,
Actually, you're going to hear from her, and she has a sad story. It's a sad story. And she'll be dressed all in black and Widow's black. You'll have to hear her story. So,
It's a wonderful event for anybody who's never been to it, isn't it? It's really very neat.
what's really kind of encouraging is when people come and say, I really wanted to hear your talk. I am descended from that character. And I've had that several times and still get correspondence from them about that character. So we're always looking for new characters. But again, it's family friendly. Get out there and talk to the people. We even have Francois Valley Senior's clerk. And who probably signed more documents. You know, Valley was illiterate, except he could sign his name, the last name. And this guy would sign his first name, Francois, in front of it, and he would write the whole document. So interesting stories like that that you can hear, and that were really important for not just our colonial period, but all the way up through the closure of the cemetery in 1881. So.
All right.
Maybe not in that cemetery, but the new one, maybe they'll portray us sometime.
But not too soon.
Not too soon.
Yeah.
So again, go online to Foundation for Restoration of St. Genevieve. It's historicstgen.org. You can sign up there or come to the gate and come on in and listen to our tales that are not so scary, but are still a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does Charlie or anybody film that?
Yes.
They do?
Yeah, they do. And it'll be on YouTube later. And we've had some people come in and do photography work. Last year, we had a really good photographer, took pictures of a lot of people. And it's always been fun.
That's
Yeah. We thank you for coming.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for having
the
us.
opportunity to come and talk about what we're doing.
yeah, if you got more to say, we still have time, so if you want to talk a
Can
little.
I add one more thing to
Well, go right
you
ahead.
know, and this is coming at it as a historian, but not only are these stories fun and enlightening, but they're meaningful. They're stories and examples of people working things out and going through hard times and challenges, not unlike some of the hard times and challenges that some of us have seen or are seeing now, and looking at how people dealt with things in the past, and how frequently very bad situations actually brought out the best in people. There is more to, we have fun with it, and we do this because we enjoy it, but it is also rewarding and meaningful. And I certainly hope that's part of what folks who come and enjoy these kinds of events that we put together, our different organizations put together. I hope that's part of what they take away from this.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes you get some interesting things happen. Laura Jablonski, who was the King's Ball or Queen's Ball queen a couple of years ago, so from Kirkwood, very involved, keeps coming down. She wanted to play a character last year, so she called me so I started looking around I had to ask the question, how old are you? Because we like to make it age appropriate. She was gracious enough to tell me. So
It's realistic.
So I started looking and I found this lady. And somehow in a conversation later, Laura's told me she had ancestors here. And she told me the name, and I researched back. And the lady that she eventually played was the sister of the first lady. And it was really her great-great-great-grandmother.
Oh, my goodness.
I had picked somebody
that-
else, but it turned out it was that other person's sister.
Oh.
And it was related to Laura. So,
Wow,
I mean, those are fun when that
that's
happens.
fun, yeah.
And this lady that moved to town, Sandy Hooger, you've probably met her.
Yes,
She's related to everybody.
we all are.
I know, except me. I'm an import.
Me too.
Yeah. I think there were Hagans and maybe St. Mary's,
Yeah.
but Not St. John, well.
You never
actually,
know,
men
you never know.
did. Yeah, that's true, yeah. So actually, how many people about attend that, and where do they come from?
We've had them as far away as Jefferson City to come and
really?
other places. I think we had over 200 and something last year.
That's great,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's
And-
really great.
we try to get the word out, and we thank you for, as Jeff said, for letting us come on and talk about our event. Because a lot of people in town have never been in our historic homes, and they might not know about these really important and maybe even not the not so important. Everybody's important in life.
Right.
They all have different stories. Some have been told before, and some should be told. There's 2 people buried there, the Sweeks. We don't portray them, but one of them died one week, and the other one died the next week and left 13 kids.
Oh, my.
Oh, my
So
goodness,
those are the stories of what life was like during like a cholera epidemic or yellow fever and that sort of thing.
yeah. And how they had to struggle through. I know some of my ancestors had like diphtheria. And they would
Typhoid.
tell how they treated it. It was interesting, but it was still very sad. Yeah.
Dr. Lynn was, Lewis Lynn, he was a doctor before he became senator, was very famous for his treatment of cholera. And I've seen what that treatment was, and it's scary.
Probably cyanide.
No, a lot of poultices and mustard and other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're very lucky.
So that's, yeah.
We live someplace where interesting people have lived for a very long time. And I think that there are lessons to be learned, even if we're not historians, about making it through the rough times and celebrating the good ones.
Yeah. And the other thing that's remarkable about it is there's all these intriguing stories and events and processes and things that people did to get not just get through life, but enjoy it and embrace it. And there is so much physical evidence still here of what they did in the course of their lives, that so many layers of history here. And it is one of the things that is dangerous about teaching history is, you start to do lots of names and dates and blah, 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 and everybody gets bored and it's, yeah, whatever. But here, you really have that sense of these stories are real. This isn't something that's made up. This isn't something that somebody is just imagining. There is so much of the physical evidence from different parts of our history over time that make it real and remind you that, yeah, you can touch it. And
I think one of the first things that I learned when I moved here, because I was interested in history, sort of, but I moved here, and history isn't just about people in books here. This community has found a way to make it feel real, to have people that you're sitting across from who are in very, very accurate costumes, except for your glasses, maybe.
Thank you. My real one's got, I have a new prescription.
Okay.
These are close, but
Yeah,
this is more my Civil War.
This community has found a way of making the history come alive. And when that happens, I think people can find a more personal attachment. Even if they're not related to anybody who ever lived here, they still can feel as if they're in touch with a time when that things were different. And you can always learn something from that, I think,
We were blessed with good record keepers. Our records go back to the 1750s. The French were wonderful in
Yeah.
doing estate inventories and deeds, and not like,
And with more recently, people like Lucille Bosler, who protected those stories and those records.
correct.
You
Because they didn't really leave diaries. I mean, we have very little of that kind of thing, but we have court records, and I think Carl Eckbert was one of the first that kind of got to figure out how to use those records to portray the life of the people. Jim Baker's marvelous at that
Yeah.
approach too, and just, there's so much of that stuff that is now available now that we didn't have 35, 40 years ago. It was there, we just didn't know it, and it was in French.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, come on out. It's either all of our events. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's intended to be. We like to involve kids.
Yeah.
So we want future people to dress up like us and do the same thing.
And be hot and sweaty and have some knucklehead tell, oh, but wool breathes. Yeah, right.
It breathes the stuff right back on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is a lot of fun. And the other thing, since we're getting a little philosophical here, that things like history and literature and collecting and sharing our stories, essentially the humanities, people, oh, why do you bother with that? Just shut up and learn how to program. But the thing is, our history, our understanding of anthropology and archaeology and all these other, they're like, when you put it together, it's like the conscience and memory of a society. And just like an individual who has no conscience or no memory is not going to function very well, well, a society that has lost its memory and conscience is not going to be terribly functional either. So yes, that's my way. So what Bob and I are doing is actually very important.
Yes, and we know that.
And-
We know that. And we try and tell you that all the time, don't we?
Thank you. Yes.
It's storytelling with a background.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we went to Vicksburg, and this one is so much better,
Thank you.
totally. It's a shame more people from away from here don't know it, where they can come spend the time here and experience it.
That's a busy night also. Usually that's the band concert night up at St. Jan.
Yeah.
It's traditionally been on that night. So
Yeah.
as somebody said, there's a lot of stuff going on between the middle of, the end of September and the first part of November.
Yes. Yeah. And all good stuff. And for people of all ages and all persuasions, it's
That
just
wasn't Vicksburg, that
an
was Williamsburg.
exciting time.
Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We
Okay,
thank you
so
for
I guess you
coming.
guys want to go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for having us.
Well, thank you so much for coming. And
Good.
anytime you have anything to say, just let us know and you can come on.
And we should tell everybody that maybe that everybody knows Cyrus's phone number, and I don't give mine out, but we have a public phone number that you can call. And I'm going to bring it up right here so that we
Charlie
take a
can
look
put
at
it on the
Charlie can put it up there, yeah.
573.
573-883-7675. And we have an email address, which is whatsnewstgentv@gmail.com. And maybe someday we'll have a Facebook page. That's taking longer than we thought to make it happen, but
Yeah, and you can also contact City Hall and they can get in touch
Yeah.
with us too.
and that goes for anybody who's got an event coming up, who has something interesting that they'd like to talk about. Pretty much,
New businesses, we always used to
Yeah.
have those on and promote them.
yeah.
Nice.
At What's New?
And all of you out there, when you find something on Facebook, if you're a citizen of St. John, please hit the share button so we can get more people to our town. Because everybody's got friends from everywhere, so the more you share, the more possibility of tourists. So,
And we'll be back next time with What's New.
right. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys very much for coming. Yeah.
That was fun.
Good night.